What's up, killer?
Yo.
Just big time. Just watching videos in the background while starting my new playthrough, Silksong. Just lost my Pantheon. I'm like, yeah, fuck this shit, bro.
Hmm.
I'm gonna probably just keep going back and forth.
I sure have told you what I've been doing in Arkham Knight.
Didn't you say it was related to the Riddler?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gathering all his trophies to take him out. Which sucks. Genuine dicks. It's not just trophies, it's the Riddler's, well, it's Riddle's trophies, fucking destruction challenges, and then saving certain prisoners or rioters with bombs in their heads. And I wouldn't mind if it was all just straight riddles, so they're actually interesting, but no, it's fucking...
I'm excited to play this again.
So the main thing I can do besides looking at videos of, you know, the fucking locations that I don't have is chasing down informants to actually learn a location so I don't have to do that shit. Can you get the fuck out of my way, nigga?
God, I've missed this game. Yeah, it's pretty. It is.
There's something I used to fall for all the time, where I'll fucking start interrogating an informant, and they have like a certain chance to tell me to go fuck myself and try to attack me. If I can counter in time, I'll get the information, but if I don't, I drop him, and I have to actually take him out, and I don't get the information, so I just get fucked.
I feel.
Recently I've been falling for it, but I remember when I was fucking younger, I used to follow that shit left and right.
Hold on, give me 1 second, chat. Adjust my audio slightly, because I gotta hear this beautiful ass soundtrack. I know it's turned up all the way, but I still have to check. Yeah, that's what I thought. Oh, the thumbnail. Oh, that's just my thumbnail, just automatically my YouTube background, and that's just my YouTube background. It's that Hollow Knight 1 photo. So all my thumbnails are usually just like that. Nah, it's like my YouTube background rather than my profile pic. Like the banner.
Yeah.
Yeah, that shit. Usually automatically make my thumbnail that. So sorry for the confusion there. Someone in chat was asking, like, how come fucking Hollow Knight 1 thumbnail when you're playing Silksong? Like, that's a good question. It's the first person to actually ask that, but that's valid. Very valid question.
Riddle me this, riddle me that. Fuck you.
Riddle me this. Deliver my finger in the tip of my dick.
I'm just lucky that fucking on this save I've actually gained, a lot of the trophies on Miyagani. I had to find like almost every single trophy in fucking Bleak. Oh, for fuck's sake. Yeah, real nice spot to place it.
Yeah, not yet. It's up there. I still can't get over that dude who painted fucking dog shit gold plate parade. Just gave it to a random dude and tried to sell it to a pawn shop. That's so fucking foul, bro. It's just like evil. That poor dude, bro, always thought he got gold. Went to go right back to that same pawn shop. Like, cash that shit.
Yeah, you talking about that shit you were talking about earlier?
Yeah, dude. It's so foul.
I was hardly paying attention, honestly. Fucking that between Franklin pissed me off, but it's constantly saying he hard R.
I passed out in case you wonder what happened to me after I ate. Then like every time I like turned on my mic, Franklin just kind of kept annoying me, you know, some of the shit he just was talking about, just like, dude, what the fuck are you talking about? Like,
Fucking when you're trying to get your own night ran or some shit in picture, he just kept saying it back to back for no fucking reason. It was irritating me.
What, harder?
Yeah. Which I was already talking to him in the first place. After that, I just generally fucking stopped even acknowledging anything he was saying.
Yeah, I believe it. Sounds like him.
Yeah, unfortunately. But he says he's changed for the better. So adamant on it.
Fucking changed at all. The only thing that's changed is that he has another part right now. That's really the only thing that's changed. Nah, he might not be happy if I said that, but it's the fucking truth.
Shit, the only thing I noticed that fucking changed is that he doesn't talk shit upon somebody's sexuality or say some stupid shit about sex ed. But even then, fucking, it's not like it's gotten any better, especially considering fucking like right after that he just went on some anti-Semitic shit towards like Jews or some bullshit.
I like how we're the bad guys too for that. For thinking that shit, for getting on his ass about it.
Yeah, we're fucking still being mad about it, being hung about it, you know, not letting it go, as if we're the villains for that shit. Fucking excuse me for having standards and not letting you be a bitch and fucking, you know, just letting it wash away in the wind. Strange man worked here, but took no pity. Alright, is he talking about the statue again?
Hey. First ball.
Yeah, that's another funny thing that some of the
There was a
fucking
bench down here.
thugs will comment on. Is that the fact that the Scarecrow did this shit on Halloween, at least in game.
Huh. If you look at that, playing this game retrospectively is definitely a new experience, that's for damn sure. Let's just keep going forward, I suppose.
The highest building in Arkham City. A strange man worked here who took no pity. Nigga, you filled everything with riddles and said, fuck off.
Jo Manel.
Hironare.
Finel, finek.
Mengina fora.
Oh, alelo.
Wenera.
Finel, finek. Mimido. Finel, finek.
Benny Frank.
Sentoso.
Mio fene.
Sa maschere?
Becca.
Nesvie.
Kesko.
Wait. Arkham City. God damn it. It's not here.
Fadastema.
I forget Arkham and Gotham are separate.
Jesus Christ, how fucking magnificent the fucking soundtrack of this game is. Just absolutely big. Hate to say it, but I will say I think I do like Silksong soundtrack more than Hollow Knight's. Not by much, but Silksong just has a lot of really good ones. I feel like every area you go just has a place of just, especially Bone Bottom, just gives me the vibe of having a sense of wonder. It's absolutely beautiful. I love Dirtmouth as well, but damn, Bone Bottom just sounds so, like, beautiful. It's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. I like how Hornet doesn't sleep on a bench or anything like that. She just kind of looks, you know, around.
Constantly checking her surroundings.
On guard. And the night, like, dead ass almost seems like as if he just passes the fuck out for a second. Which is interesting. So I'm not sure if that's what he's doing or what, you know?
Yeah, especially considering he doesn't need it at all.
Right. It's almost like, I don't know how you'd describe it, but...
Because not only is he full Weaver, but not Weaver, full Worm. He's also just completely hollow. Devoid of any needs, wants, or desires. I gotta say though, collecting these Riddler trophies is certainly interesting to some of the places they'll bring you back to. I think I found my way in.
Silksong.
Yep.
Magina Fora.
Goro.
Are you stupid? Yay, 100 out of 243 riddles. How wonderful. Some of the shit isn't even fucking riddles, it's just bullshit set up.
Sur le banc, face à Deloria.
That's fine.
Dalaka Revendo. Dalaka Rivenda. Ustaridoria. Faridula Simanet. Doni.
And if only I was a stubborn bitch, I'd just search it up on YouTube and watch the True Nightfall Protocol there. God, I'm earning XP finding these same trophies. You find a boss or something?
Yeah. It's one of those rooms, you know, like there's just a bunch of enemies.
Enemy rush.
Yeah.
Where could you be though? The only one I could think of was like Hunter's March, but even then, you just started to save, so I don't think that's it.
I'm like a little bit past, you know, like where you open the door for,
For Sherma?
yeah.
Uh.
Oh, fuck. Shit.
You know, as much as I hate the Vanessa Studios mission, I love the part where Joker sings to you.
Okay. Give me the rosaries.
Well, at least I don't lose a trail even back to the Batmobile. But how am I meant to get in there? And that part is you. Oh, no, there it goes. No, so there.
Ora venta. Ora venta. Faridula Simanet. Doni Puana Vodinet.
Right from the first case, things get brutal, but we go deeper. The stories get so horrifying, you won't believe they were real. Let's begin at the tip of this iceberg. Level 1. Seaside Park residents thought they had seen the worst. However, barely a year later, they were proven wrong. On September 2nd, 2013, a massive fire broke out on the Seaside Park boardwalk. It began beneath an ice-cream
Zoinks.
spread into the neighboring seaside. Firefighters from multiple counties arrived to battle
Sorry,
the
some
flames.
random
But the situation
some random thug was saying like fuck all the big villains, say he was working alone from now on, like he was gonna do some.
during Sandy, forcing firefighters to draw water from a nearby bay. But winds of 30 to 40 miles per hour made their jobs even harder.
The Moro.
In the building. When the New Jersey governor arrived 4 hours later, the boardwalk he
I
had
thought it was the marrow, like bone marrow.
Maybe it's a marrow, my bad. Probably is. Considering this is bone natives over here.
After Sandy, it was a nightmare repeating itself. Their livelihoods and the town's economy depended on the boardwalk, now reduced to ash and rubble. At 7:45 p.m., the fire was finally under control. No lives were lost, but over 50 businesses in Seaside Park, including the Park Amusement Park, were destroyed. Still, the town
I could be wrong, but isn't Wolf Lee that guy y'all have issues with?
I forget. This is Silksong. A lot of enemies just do 2 massacre hit. It's not just certain bosses anymore.
Oh yeah, the big skull bitches in there.
Yeah. Totally forgot about that. I'm gonna have to be a little more cautious around those fuckers.
But am I wrong about that, somebody?
What?
Was it Wolf, or isn't Wolfie that one guy y'all had issues with or some shit?
Wolfie?
Yeah.
No. I never had issues with that guy. Is that like Joseph's friend?
Oh boy, no other friends or not.
Yeah, I've never had an issue with that guy, bro. That's the guy I'm thinking about.
It must have been another guy. So sure, I blocked the one that I'm thinking of. I just thought it was strange because I thought it was him. These are some of my friends' list.
Bro, that's dumb.
Punished her before forcing Abby to write another letter under his watch. When the letter reached Kenya, it spoke about missing home, staying strong, and it gave no hint of her location. Though it was Abby's handwriting, Kenya sent a letter behind the words. And but detectives hesitated to release it publicly, worried that if the captor felt exposed, he might retaliate. After holding it for a month, authorities shared the letter with the public, but in fact, many people believe the letter proved Abby had run away. Some even demanded that her family repay the cost of the search. Despite the criticism, Kenya continued pleading for her daughter's safe return. Inside the container, Abby slowly earned small privileges. The captor allowed her to read books. One of them, she found his name written inside the cover. Daniel, discovering Peter's power. She began addressing him, names building a fragile sense of familiarity. Months passed. Abby remained patient. She reminded Nate that if he ever let her go, she would not reveal who he was. Over time, his guard lowered.
Part of how I gained this trust, I guess, was, I went along with whatever he wanted to do.
Eventually, Nate
That's crazy.
counterfeit money inside the shed. By then, he trusted Abby enough to involve her. She complied carefully, knowing any mistake could cost her life. But after a shift worker that Nate paid with counterfeit money attempted to use the bills at a Walmart, local police learned about the illegal operation. The woman warned Nate the police were going to search his property soon. pressure mounted, the man made a decision. On July 20th, 2014, after 9 months in captivity, he drove Abby to an abandoned road in North Conway and released her. Security cameras captured her walking up to her home in the same outfit she was abducted in. She looked thinner and exhausted, but finally breathed. A week later, Nathaniel Kitty was arrested and charged with more than 200 crimes. He initially pleaded not guilty.
200 crimes is crazy. That's what I'm saying, bro. Dude, 200 is down bad.
Like, bro, you get charged with 200 crimes. Honestly, you should be executed by default, because what the fuck?
Fucker sent this, hold on. Curse my phone off the lag. Fuck you, son.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Charged with more than 200 crimes. He initially pleaded not guilty. Later,
Not guilty. Those 200 crimes.
multiple felony charges.
Yeah, it's hard to be not guilty when charged with 200 crimes total.
45 to 90 years. Crazy.
North Carolina power grid attack. In December 2022, over 40,000 people in
That's
North
easy.
Carolina suddenly lost power. But it was not a system failure. It was deliberate. Weeks before the blackout, the FBI had issued a bulletin to private industry warning of increased threats to electric infrastructure. The alert did not name a specific location, but it highlighted a growing risk. Around 7 p.m. on December 3rd, that warning became reality. A Duke Energy substation was struck by gunfire and severely damaged. Before authorities could fully assess the situation, a second substation in West End was also attacked. The combined damage cut electricity to most of the county. The impact was immediate. Schools closed, businesses shut down, and officials imposed a county-wide curfew. Investigators recovered roughly 24 shell casings from a high-powered rifle. Soon, authorities announced a $75,000 reward for information leading to an arrest and conviction. Meanwhile, utility crews worked around the clock to restore power, but the repairs were complex and slow. The county's regional hospital operated on generator power, and water and sewer systems relied on backup generators to remain functional. As temperatures dropped at night, thousands of residents were left without heat. 3 days after the attack, about 35,000 people were still in the dark. It was not until
That's why I gotta
the evening of
scrounge
December
around looking
7th
for this
that
damn
outages dropped
caller.
to around 1,200 households. 5 days after the shooting, officials permanently lifted the curfew. For most residents, power eventually returned. For 87-year-old Karen Zollner, it never truly did. She
I'm too tired to have
relied
the
on an
patience for
oxygen
this.
machine due to chronic lung disease and was found dead in her home after the power outage rendered her equipment inoperable. Nearly a year after the attack, authorities released an image of a vehicle of interest seen near the substations that night. No suspects have been publicly identified. The Moore County power grid attack remains unsolved. Arizona, Bob Crane. To millions of viewers, Bob Crane was a charming sitcom star. But behind the scenes, he developed habits that would follow him off stage and into something far darker. Bob Crane played the lead role in the 1965 television sitcom Hogan's Heroes. But after it ended, his career began to decline. With fewer opportunities in Hollywood, Bob turned to dinner theater, a form of entertainment that combined a restaurant meal with a live stage play. It kept him working, but it was far from the spotlight he once had. In 1978, while touring with the dinner theater production in Arizona, Bob failed to show up for a scheduled lunch meeting. Concerned, his co-star went to his apartment to check on him, and she found him lying in his bed, beaten to death. His injuries were so severe that the theater manager couldn't even identify him immediately. But what made the situation so bizarre was that police found no signs of forced entry. That suggested the killer was someone Bob knew or had access to the apartment. As officers processed the scene, a call came in from Bob's friend, John Carpenter. John was a video equipment salesman who had met Bob during the run of Hogan's Heroes. The two men became close friends, but their friendship went beyond casual companionship. Bob attracted women easily and often introduced Carpenter as his manager. Over time, the two began videotaping their intimate encounters with women they met. What started as experimentation turned into an obsession. Even after Carpenter became a national sales manager, he arranged his business trips around Crane's dinner theater schedule so they could meet up. During his call to police, Carpenter seemed phased that officers were in his friend's apartment. He said he had been with Bob the night before the raid. That made him the last person known to have seen Bob alive. Since investigators already believed the killer was someone Bob knew, Carpenter quickly became their primary suspect. But there was more. Bob was just 2 weeks away from turning 50. According to his son, he had grown tired of the lifestyle.
Oh, ain't going over there.
His friendship with Carpenter for a fresh start. Witnesses later reported seeing the two men arguing at a bar the night before Bob was killed. It was the last confirmed sighting of him alive.
He killed him, bro.
Detectives found blood everywhere. On the front door, the back exit door, the door.
God damn, what did he do?
Most importantly, they found blood inside the rental car Carpenter had been using as well.
So they said they found that shit everywhere. Like, what? What did he do, bro? Poke him full of holes or some shit?
Take the next step in treating your moderate to severe ulcer
Like, bro.
with Insidious, the only gut-focused treatment for UC that helps block inflammation.
In 1978, DNA testing was not available.
Just gotta look for a green light.
Test blood type. The blood came back as type B, the same as Bob Crane's. Carpenter did not have type B blood, and neither did anyone else who used the vehicle.
You're going the right way.
They had enough evidence.
Yep.
The county attorney agreed. Weapon, the case was considered 2 weeks process, so no arrest was made. For years, the case went cold. 12 years later, detectives reopened the case. Investigators had discovered a photograph of the rental car's
12 years later
interior
is crazy.
appeared to show a piece of brain tissue. Although the physical sample had been lost, a judge ruled that the photographic evidence was admissible. In 1992, John Carpenter was arrested and charged with Bob Crane's murder. At trial, Bob Crane's previous escapades gave the defense plenty to play with. There was still no weapon. They argued that Crane could have been killed by a jealous husband or boyfriend or one of the women he had videotaped.
Damn it, fucking Rosary's falling in the spikes and shit.
Not guilty. To this day, the case remains officially unsolved.
I'm trying to get rosaries for the magnet.
Wyoming.
You cut out.
Amy Bechtel was a 24-year-old record-breaking distance runner with dreams of qualifying for the 2000 Summer Olympics. But the very passion that defined her would become the last thing she ever did. On July 24, 1997, Amy went about her usual day. She ran errands, taught a fitness class, and even visited a local photography business to ask about an upcoming competition. Everything seemed normal until she decided to go for a run along a loop road. Amy was preparing for a 10-kilometer race she was organizing in September on that very loop and wanted to practice the route ahead of time. But that was the last time she would be on that route. Meanwhile, her husband, Steve Bechtel, went rock climbing with friends. When he returned around 4:30 p.m., Amy still wasn't home. At the time, he didn't think much of it. It wasn't until 10 p.m. when her parents confirmed they hadn't heard from her that he reported her missing. For those of you who are like, why didn't he just call her? This was 1997. Cell phones were not that common. Authorities, along with friends and volunteers, launched a search. Hours later, they found Amy's vehicle along the loop road. It was unlocked, her car keys left on the driver's seat, and a to-do list, but it provided no clues about her whereabouts. Searches of nearby lakes, mines, and trails turned up nothing. Tips and potential leads also led to nowhere. At first, officers considered that Amy might have been attacked by a bear or mountain lion, but suspicions shifted after investigators reviewed a series of journals owned by the husband, Steve. The journals contained writings that described violence toward women, and he even referenced his wife. On August 1st, 1997, officers attempted to interview Steve under the pretense that they had evidence he was involved in Amy's disappearance. Once he realized this, he terminated the interview. Although Steve later stated that the journals were simply song lyrics for his band, he refused to take a polygraph test and would not grant further interviews. In 2004, Amy was declared legally dead by her husband. To this day, the circumstances
Quill's gonna be
surrounding her
useful as
disappearance
well. We might as well get that.
Minnesota, Jeremy Jourdain. On Halloween
Down
night,
here.
just before 9 p.m., Jeremy Jourdain left his grandfather's home to attend a party with friends. He had lived there all his life, but after that night, everything would change. A friend drove him to the party in Bemidji, Minnesota, about 20 minutes away. Jeremy's older sister, Jameen, who lived in Bemidji, met him.
Oh, I know where I'm at now.
Began as expected.
Okay.
Jeremy stepped outside with a few friends to smoke, but suddenly ran off without explanation. His friends assumed he was heading home. They were wrong. The party was more than 16 miles from his home, making the journey almost impossible on foot. By 9 a.m. the next morning, when Jeremy had not returned, his grandfather reported him missing.
Fuck out of here.
Police launched an immediate search, combing the area on foot, and that marked the beginning of a decade-long investigation. As efforts intensified, authorities searched by
That's crazy.
air,
I'm not too shocked, but bad to bitch Riddler, bro. In Arkham City, he defused the bombs on a hat that Riddler made, put it on Riddler's head, made him run around, unless it blew up. And he did that shit, not realizing it was defused. And he was doing that shit for hours, bro.
no cameras caught his steps. No one saw where he went.
running in circles for hours before he realized he defused the bombs.
He's never been found. Circumstances surrounding his disappearance.
No wonder fucking Riddler's so mad at Batman and Arkham Knight. It makes sense now. I'd be mad too.
Was devastating for Waterville, Maine, and the family of Ayla Reynolds. On the morning of December 17th, her father, Justin DiPietro, discovered that his daughter was missing. 2 months earlier, Justin had been granted
Bro, like literally a
temporary
parent's
custody
worst
after
nightmare.
Ayla's mother, Trista Reynolds, entered rehab for substance addiction. Trista allowed
I'm not gonna lie,
Ayla
bro.
to
If I have a
stay with
kid
Justin,
and they're
believing
getting
she would be
kidnapped,
safe.
there's nothing you can do to stop them from killing them.
Dude, it's straight prison time for me because I'm gonna murder somebody for real.
Around 8 p.m. 2 other adults were in the home that night. His sister, Alicia
Nothing you could
DiPietro,
ever do to
and
stop
his
me from killing
girlfriend,
him.
Courtney Roberts. All 3 claimed someone must have entered the house and
Hell, they could have did nothing to my kid. That's the fact that you got the idea to do that shit that I'm gonna kill you over.
Dude, dead ass
There were no
though.
signs of forced entry. Aliens were weeks, Justin avoided public interviews, which made Trista openly accuse him of knowing more than he was saying. Then,
And like, I know some motherfuckers, bro, like,
found something alarming. They had discovered
I'm not saying you should shelter your kid and never let them hang out with anybody, but I also think there's a proper age for them to be doing shit like that, and on top of that, but like, I'll go pick up my little sister from the bus, right? She's only like 5, but I'll see like, kids, or she's like 6, but I'll see like kids younger than her, bro, right? Fucking, they're like walking home all by themselves. I'm like, why would not let my kid get off the bus and walk to my house? And like, these kids are walking far. Like, from the looks of it. I'm just like, yeah, I'd be paranoid about that personally. Because anyone could just whoop, get in the car, you know, and just
No body has ever been found.
fuck that.
What happened inside that house that December night?
I'm just paranoid person when it comes to that shit, though, you know what I mean?
Haunting
It's just like, nah, bro. I don't know how parents can be okay with letting their kid do that. Hell no.
Utah. Lori Hacking. Lori Hacking was a stockbroker.
I'm with my 5-year-old fucking walk home.
5 weeks pregnant and preparing to move with her husband, Mark Hacking, for his medical school plan.
What's wrong with you?
Everything seemed set for a new chapter. Until one morning, she vanished. On July 19, 2000, Mark called the police to report that Lori had not returned from her early morning job. 40 minutes later, he called again, claiming he had found her car parked near a canyon trail where she often ran. Police launched an immediate search. The couple appeared to have a stable marriage, but investigators soon noticed troubling inconsistencies. Although Mark told officers looking for Lori, officers found
He killed her, huh?
purse, wallet, and the keys to the car she supposedly drove to the
Fucking
canyon.
bet money on it.
With blood on it. Her car seat had been adjusted for someone taller than Lori, and blood was
I can bet money on it. Yeah.
As investigators tried to piece together the evidence, another strange incident occurred. The morning after Lori disappeared, witnesses reported that Mark was running outside a hotel wearing nothing but sandals. He was taken to a psychiatric facility. However, one expert noted that someone in a true psychotic state would not likely have remembered to keep their shoes on. Still, suspicion alone was enough. Then, detectives uncovered something more alarming. Investigators learned that Lori had called the medical school days before her disappearance to ask about financial aid during her pregnancy, only to find out that Mark never enrolled. For years, he had pretended to attend classes, take exams, and even travel for medical school interviews. Both families had believed the story. That discovery changed everything.
That's wild.
While Mark remained at the psychiatric facility, 2 of his brothers confronted him and urged him to tell the truth. Faced with mounting evidence, he finally confessed. Mark admitted that when Lori had confronted him about the deception, his argument escalated.
And so you killed her?
While she slept and
Yup.
left her body in a dumpster.
Yup.
2 months
Oh,
later,
you tell her
police
while she's
found Lori's
asleep. That's
remains
crazy.
in the municipal land.
Bro, just could take the L and admit that you were lying for years about some shit, bro. Like, really? Nah, I'm gonna shoot her for real.
6 years. The Utah
Wait, what is wrong with people, bro? Like, what?
for parole until at least 20.
Are we on fucking planet Earth?
Iowa. Molly Timmons. In a quiet farming
I think we're on planet Earth, man. I'm keeping buck.
Brooklyn, Iowa. What could possibly go wrong?
We should. I'd be surprised if we were.
Molly Timmons had left her boyfriend's house for her regular evening jog, even sending him a Snapchat message before heading out. But when she didn't show up for work the next day and was unreachable by family or boyfriend, they reported her missing. Authorities immediately began.
Sensitive doesn't have to be
Oh,
sensitive.
gas,
Take
Ed.
sensitive serious. So you can set your hair and
Hey. Let's go. We got our first, I forget what the fuck they're called.
Authorities immediately began searching.
Spool fragment.
Scanning every corner by land, air, and water.
Well, this is those early.
Initially, investigators questioned her boyfriend Jack, but he provided a clean alibi. He had traveled to Dubuque for work at a construction company, leaving Molly at his house alone with his dogs. Yet, after 4 weeks of following over 1,500 tips and conducting more than 500 interviews, the case remained stalled. Then, a breakthrough came. Authorities discovered CCTV footage showing a black car repeatedly driving near the area where Molly had
Bitch, I want to wear the trophy, so you're fuck ass
was
up.
eventually traced to a 24-year-old man, Christian Bahena Rivera. The circumstances surrounding Rivera were shocking. During questioning, Rivera confessed confessed to following Molly on her jog. He said he became upset when she threatened to call the police. Beyond that, he claimed he could not remember exactly what happened.
Oh,
That
horseshit.
Molly's body ended up in the trunk of his car. Vera eventually led authorities to the cornfield where
I don't know what
he
happened,
dumped
bro.
her body.
She accused me of following her, and next thing I know it, she's in the trunk of my car.
And sentenced to life
Excuse me?
in prison without the
Get
possibility
the fuck out of here.
Must have been them goddamn liberals who did it. They killed her and put her in my trunk. And it certainly was me.
35-year-old Crystal Rogers reported missing by her parents. That same day, her car was found abandoned along the Bluegrass Parkway in Kentucky. The keys were
Kentucky,
in ignition,
man.
the tire was flat, and her belongings were still inside. It was clear this was no accident. From the beginning, Crystal's parents suspected her boyfriend, Brooks Houck. He was the last person to have seen her. During questioning,
Bro, what's up with all these
Brooks
couples
claimed
killing each
Crystal
other,
had
bro?
been playing on her phone when he went to bed. By the next morning,
Oh,
she
fuck
was
no.
gone and her car was missing.
Fucking
Investigators
ridiculous.
challenged his account on the fact that he didn't try to report her disappearance, but Brooks claimed that he wasn't alarmed because Crystal had often stayed away overnight in the past. Again, Brooks was questioned about a late-night call to an employee, Steve Lawson. He claimed he was with Crystal at the time, but Steve's account contradicted it. During the interview, Brooks' brother, Nick Houck, a police officer, called and told him not to speak with authorities. Brooks later agreed to a polygraph test, which he, not surprisingly, failed. Despite being labeled as a suspect, he was not immediately arrested. Another key lead was a white Buick seen near the Houck farm the night Crystal disappeared. Tracing the vehicle to a dealership, authorities
I can
found
get why they do
several
it as well, but at the same time, it's such a stupid thing, right?
similar to Crystal's, but
Labeling someone as a suspect and letting them know they're a suspect and letting them go free anyways. Because 9 times out of 10, if they're the main perpetrator and you let them know they're a suspect, they're going to try to skip town.
No, that ass.
16 months later, the family chaos only got worse. Crystal's father, Tommy Ballard, was shot and killed while hunting on his private property with Crystal's oldest son. By this time, Crystal was presumed dead, and her father's prompted investigators to re-examine the case. In August 2020, the FBI ultimately took over the investigation. They conducted searches and recovered an item of interest under a driveway, followed by another item from the Houck family farm. They never named these items, but officers said they believe they're in possession of the firearm used to kill Tommy Ballard. After 8 long years, the charges and arrest finally began. In 2023, the employee Steve Lawson and his and investigation. In the end, Steve Lawson was sentenced to 17 years in prison, while his son Joseph received 25 years. Brooks Houck was found guilty of Crystal Rogers' murder and tampering with evidence, and was sentenced to life in prison.
But it's crazy how it could take that long for some charges to finally get, like, you know.
The death of her father remains unsolved.
It's just kind of crazy as far as it's like sick
I
like
mean,
that.
it's crazy how charges and fucking about a donkey lowball for how much
Yeah,
he
bro.
deserves to be locked up for.
Rebecca Coster went out for the night with friends and her boyfriend in Long Island. Around 3 a.m., her boyfriend Dan Mayer
Smelled amazing and
dropped her off.
disgusting.
The last time he'd see her. By morning, Rebecca wasn't answering calls and failed to show up for work. As the hours passed, she remained MIA. Her family reported her missing. While police searched for Rebecca, her mother received a text message from her phone. It claimed Dan had tied her up and she didn't know where she was. Alarmed, her family rushed to Dan's house only to find him with the police. Officers searched his home, but Rebecca was nowhere to be found. That same day, the body was discovered 85 miles away in Connecticut.
What?
It had been burned and stripped of identifying.
Wait, what?
Connecticut. It had been burned and stripped.
Mutilated. And I was like, I don't know what he said. I was like, I hope it wasn't say molested. They said mutilated.
5 days later, that hope was shattered. Dental records confirmed the remains.
Wow, what a switch up.
I know, right? It's fucking ass. Oh, shit. You just hear about some bitch getting mutilated, chopped up and burnt pieces, and then fucking just all of a sudden that.
An autopsy revealed she had been reported and burned.
Really, I didn't realize she was stabbed.
Hours, they reviewed surveillance footage and phone records. Surveillance video showed Rebecca exchanging numbers with a man at a bar that night. About an hour after Dan dropped her off, that same man called her phone. He was later identified as 33-year-old Evan Gambier. Authorities determined that Gambier met Rebecca at her home in the morning, killed her, burned her body, and sent the text message to her family in an attempt to mislead.
Because he's a sick bastard, obviously.
When questioned, Gambier claimed Rebecca became ill, fell, and hit her head. He said he panicked after.
I'm at the Bill Beast. How do you get him out of the webs again?
You need to get your first skill, which should be close by.
Got you.
The defense argued the wounds were inflicted after her death.
I can't remember what it's called, but none of her effects when we toss a needle.
That's what I saw, but I forgot.
25 years to life in prison. Vermont. The case.
Fuck, that shit hurt.
Vermont's home after an elderly couple called for help with their broken down car. She offered to assist, leaving her son inside the car, unaware he would never see his mother again. Hours later, her vehicle was found idling on a rural road with her son still inside. Alarmed, family and friends reported Melissa missing, but all hope would soon be shattered. The following day, Melissa's body was discovered in the Connecticut River, leaving the residents in shock. Investigators soon learned that Melissa knew the elderly couple, Alan and Patricia Cruz. Years earlier, when Alan had allowed the driveway, he made an unwanted advance to her. Before she left on the day of her disappearance, she had informed a friend about her movements and unease with the couple's request. Investigators eventually traced the couple using Alan's business card and arrested them 2 days later. Upon arrest, Alan confessed. He explained that while driving around with his wife Patricia, he had decided he wanted to get a girl. So, they bought a stun gun and used the prepaid phone to lure Melissa.
Bruh.
When she stepped out of her car, Alan grabbed and strangled her.
That's another thing. It's like, well, how do you propose that to your partner? And they're just like, oh, hell yeah, I'm down. Like, what?
I remember hearing a story like this.
There's a couple of stories like that, yeah.
The couple abducting a girl, fucking raping and killing her, and leaving her body somewhere.
There's this one that we had an RV, and they just traveled the United States, going from state to state, doing that shit. Found a lot of people in there. It was really fucked up.
Born and raised in the city, he built a successful basketball career, started a family, and made a name for himself.
I'll never understand it, unless it's out of self-defense. Fucking sitting there and just, in your mind, thinking, I want to take a human life. If that seems fun, that seems pleasing.
From his wife, Shira Robinson, he had 6 children. On July 18th, 2010, Wright left his ex-wife's home in Tennessee, but the next morning, he made this 911 call.
Georgetown 911, where's your emergency? Hello?
All there was just gunshots.
Bitch. Yeah, so why are you just fucking hello? I swear. I get it's her job, but it's irritating they go about
stupid,
it.
Bro.
I swear. Fucking, you heard gunshots. Fucking hello. Like, what?
Dude, I'd be so concerned if someone called 911 and all I hear is gunshots followed by dead silence, brother.
6 days later, Wright's body was discovered in a wooded area riddled.
The moment I hear gunshots of any sort, for any reason, hey yo, fucking I need officers to switch here immediately. Cause why are you just sitting there, hello?
Nah, bro. You said he was riddled with gun holes from 2 different firearms. That's crazy. They must have had hella abuse. They probably shooting this dude even when he was long. It's just overkill.
At every turn. It wasn't until 2017 that the case finally broke open. That year, Shira's cousin, Jimmy Martin, who was serving time in prison for killing his girlfriend, was granted immunity to testify. Martin revealed that Shira had recruited him and Billy Ray Turner, a local landscaper, to kill her cousin. According to Martin, they first attempted to find Wright.
I feel like we just got done with that. What the fuck? How the fuck do I get up there?
By using your special silk powers, obviously.
Fuck, I'm confused. I don't want to go.
To condo, but did not locate him. Later in 2010,
Oh, I'm fucking retarded.
with a story that she was
You know how it goes.
to collect money. There,
Yeah, I know what to do now.
ambushed him. Wright fought back, hopped on a fence, and called 911, but the attacker caught up and shot him. Afterwards, they disposed of the weapon in a nearby lake, where authorities later recovered them. On July 25th, 2019, Shira Wright
When is throwing a fire on the lake ever worked in the history of ever? I swear to God. Especially in modern day.
Billy Ray Turner was sentenced to life in prison plus 25 years for conspiracy to commit first-degree murder and attempted first-degree murder. Oregon. Nancy
Ooh,
Brophy.
Oregon.
Daniel Craig Brophy was
Yeah, that piqued your interest.
culinary instructor at Oregon Culinary Institute. 2018, like any
Oh,
other
this is
day,
recent, okay.
Officers had the grim task of informing his wife, Nancy Crampton Brophy, who told officers she had walked the dogs and taken a shower the morning of the incident. For 2 years, no one challenged her story until something unexpected surfaced. In 2020, investigators discovered traffic camera footage showing Nancy driving to and from the school within a 13-minute window around the time of the murder. When questioned, she changed her story, claiming she had no memory of the drive and was likely on a coffee break. 3 months later, Nancy Crampton Brophy was charged with her husband's murder. During the trial, prosecutors argued that she may have killed him to cash in on a $1.4 million life insurance.
Oh, there's no way she didn't. That's a lot of money, bro.
It's sad how a motherfucker will legitimately kill you with some life insurance money, bro.
That ass though.
Like, for all reason I could get killed for it, better not be for some fucking insurance money. I'll be fucking pissed.
On September 13th,
especially since it has to be someone close to you if they know about the insurance and are trying to get it. Like, they have to be in your family. Whether married in or fucking, like, by blood, regardless. It's so hurtful.
Dude, for real though.
These homes were customers of Columbia Gas of Massachusetts, which had been performing pipelines. Normally, these homes received gas through a low-pressure system supplied by a high-pressure pipeline. At the time, workers were replacing...
Hell, I'd rather get killed in a crime of passion and love than get killed for some fucking insurance money, bro.
Yeah, bro, come on now.
The pressure
Showed me over insurance money, bro. No, this is my second time.
High pressure gas from the main pipeline flooded the neighborhood pipelines. By 4:15 p.m., multiple homes exploded.
Bro, that's the kind of shit that would only be happening in fucking somewhere like Massachusetts, bro. That's some like Avenger level shit. Like actual, like, you got bombs and shit going off in. Like, come on now.
Oh yeah, Moody, I'm sure you have. But ever seen like a video where this guy was holed up in his house and the government was trying to get him, right?
Oh, is this where he like blows it up?
Yeah, blows up his entire fucking house. W unplugged.
I know, but yeah, I've beaten it before. This is my second playthrough. That's when I'm 100% it. It's been a long time since I played it though. I haven't played it since basically it first came out, so I don't remember a whole lot of what I'm doing.
The company was ordered to pay a $53 million fine.
Bro, I hate it when companies be doing that shit. I remember hearing of a fire that happened like that, where like the people who made it, they went for this really cheap material that was really flammable, and they could have just got the shit they were supposed to be getting. And basically that building, when it did catch fire, there was like no hope for anybody inside. I like the Reaper Crest.
Another one.
That and Wanderer the most, though.
You ever seen a video where like a live streaming guy on like Facebook Live trapped at like a burning building? He was like a construction worker there, and he couldn't get out.
Yeah, I've seen that one. Yeah.
Yeah, and they removed like the stairs that were supposed to be there because they're about to put in something else, like an elevator or some shit. Like he just physically cannot escape. Bro, I remember seeing that shit and fucking. Don't even know the guy. That's just heartbreaking. Just seeing anybody's last moments in a tragedy like that is heartbreaking.
No, for real though, dude. Damn, that train looks fucked, dude. Holy fuck. I looked down at my phone. Dude, that train looks fucked. Honest to God, it's a miracle only 4 people are fucking dead, dude. I wish you saw what the fuck I was looking at, dude. That shit looks like it was split. Like fucking Omni-Man shoving Mark through that toe, bro. Like,
I was about to ask that too. I was dead
like, dude, that shit looks split, bro. Like, that looks bad. I looked down for a second. I was like, holy fuck, dude. Only 4 people died? Are you kidding? There had to have been a fuck ton of injuries. Dude, oh my god. I haven't. I'm gonna go back and forth. I'm gonna play Silksong, and then I'm also gonna play Pantheon 5. Because Pantheon 5 has been making me, suicidal. That's what I'm gonna say. That's good agua.
The trains wait. West Virginia, mine disaster.
Yep, fuck mine as well.
Forget that song.
I could not be a miner, bro. You couldn't pay me enough.
But no one realized the danger until it was too late.
I was sad as wondering what the fuck you were talking about until I thought about it for a second.
That negligence triggered disaster.
Especially like back in the day when like they had to like throw out like TNT and shit down there. Like, bro, I'd just be afraid of like that entire cave just collapsing in on me, bro.
Rescue teams rushed to the scene. Initially, 25 miners were confirmed, while 4 others remained missing. Harsh conditions and unstable tunnels meant rescuers walked past the remaining 4 miners on the first day without realizing it. Eventually, all 29 miners were found dead, making it one of the deadliest U.S. mining disasters in decades. Investigations by the Federal Mine Safety Agency revealed serious safety violations. At the time, the mine was operated by performance.
You're at the end of Delta Run in Chapter 4 right now.
They used a method called
Nice.
Who, me? Yeah.
No, it's still in chat.
producing more coal in less time.
No, not chapter 4. Chapter 3. I couldn't keep the roaring out.
Methane gas. proper ventilation systems to keep the gas under control.
Yeah, one of these times I could open up a stream and show you what the hell I have to deal with when it comes to it, though. One of these times it is.
I'm sure it's some bullshit.
Admitting responsibility
With certainty.
Nevada, Reno Air Races. The galloping former fighter plane had returned from retirement just a year before the 2011 Reno Air Races in Nevada. But despite its modifications, nothing could prevent the disaster that awaited. On September 16, 2011, pilot Jimmy Leeward, a veteran aviator, prepared to fly the plane in the race. But his flight would not go well. The race began. The Galloping Ghost held third place, and Leeward had just rounded pylon number 8. But during the third lap, the aircraft suddenly rolled sharply to the left. It clipped a spectacular area before crashing into the ground at approximately 400 miles per hour.
Damn.
The impact was so catastrophic that the airplane's fuel scattered instantly before it could ignite. Yet the crash killed 7 people immediately, including Leeward. 4 more would later die in the hospital, and 74 others were injured. Investigators determined the crash was caused by a mechanical failure in the plane's left elevator trim system. Mechanics had reused single-use lock nuts, which eventually loosened. A critical screw cracked, causing the trim tab to shake uncontrollably. The shaking broke the link connecting the trim tab to the control system.
Oh, Rosaries.
The pilot was able to control the aircraft. The 2011 Reno Air Races crash became the third.
And it's Bleak Island and Miyagani down.
Let's go fight the Bell Beast.
Missouri, Joplin tornado.
Fuck tornadoes, man.
No time for
That's another thing I'm glad I don't have to fucking deal with. I don't know why.
what?
Tornadoes.
Fucking like a week or two back, we had like a tornado warning. I guess it might have been an actual tornado, just real strong winds. They knocked out power in a lot of places. I'm not gonna lie, bro. I just kept getting ring notifications of fucking power being lost in multiple places.
I believe it.
Meanwhile, luckily my power stayed on.
Tornadoes? What did he say?
That's so crazy. Luckily my power stayed on, but yeah, fucking notification just kept going on.
I might actually die this Bell Beast. It's gonna be my first death. That's a stage now, at least. Fuck, he got me.
Most homes lacked basements. These factors left residents extremely
First death, died the Bell bitch.
Start checking account in 2 minutes, and we'll spot you up to $200.
Factors left residents
Suck on my dick.
extremely vulnerable. At 5:34 p.m., the Joplin tornado touched down. Over the next 48 minutes, it intensified to EF5 strength, destroying homes, crushing walls, and twisting steel support beams. Only the homes where residents hid in basements were the ones without casualties. In total, 550 and 7,000.
After I break all these breakables on my map, I'm hopping off Arkham Knight.
17,000 residents were left homeless.
Doing the riddles are nice, sure, but... Ooh, another informant. How lucky.
People died, and over 1,000 were injured. It was the deadliest tornado of 2011 and the most destructive in Missouri's history. Mississippi, Hurricane Camille. In August 1969, residents along the Mississippi Gulf Coast were warned that a powerful storm was approaching. But residents had no idea.
Dude, natural disasters are just so fucking scary.
On the night of August 17th,
I mean, there's nothing you can do about it. You
Dude,
can try to
dead
prepare, but
ass.
even then, that's most likely not going to be enough.
Storm. Sustained
Like, bro, like, I remember seeing video clips of some of, like, the tsunamis in Japan, bro, and they look absolutely fucking horrific. There's even this one, story I remember seeing in a video, and there's footage of it. You can't understand what they're saying, but from what I heard, the context of the situation is basically this dude, when the tsunami hit, had climbed up this mountain, essentially, and he was very, you know, lucky, but he saw a bunch of people, you know, down, like, below him, screaming for help, like, on top of their roofs. You know, just wouldn't allow him to not go and help them, though. So he went to go help these people. They climbed back up, and then he realized that, his wife was still down there, and he basically, went to go down there to, like, save her. He ends up getting on top of the roof of his house, because, the waters ended up rising too high at that point. And I guess, one of the ladies who was filming that he rescued, his wife just pulled up, like, on the mountain. So he basically killed himself trying to go rescue his wife, not realizing she was already, like, safe, basically. And I was like, that's so fucking sad. Like, that's just fucked up. And you just hear them screaming.
I mean, if anything, she'll surely never doubt his faithfulness in death.
Planning in the United States changed permanently. Camille became the standard against which future storms would be.
It's like the third time arguments crash.
Rhode Island.
It's one of those stories that's so sad but heroic at the same time, because, you know, he didn't even have to save those other women. Could have stayed up there, you know. Would have been so easy to do. But he just couldn't allow himself to see people who would help in need, you know, and just do nothing.
Man of honor.
Oh, I think I heard of this one. The one with the concert? Yeah.
Did the baby concert? I'm sorry.
No. The Travis Scott concert, bro.
Oh, Astro World?
No, it's not that one. But,
damn, you
one
got
where,
another
like,
favorite
they had,
fucking
like, pyrotechnics or some shit. I don't know the name of the band, but there's some concert that had, like, a bunch of pyrotechnics. And,
oh, I think I heard of this one. It was, like, out of a flame... it was, like, too flammable, like, reacted to the lights or some shit, or am I tripping?
It's, like...
Yeah, and
it caught fire, like,
they
really
got the wrong...
fast.
Yeah, you got the wrong fire extinguisher, so instead of putting the fire out, it just blew it further into the crowd.
To make matters worse, the venue had no sprinkler system, and within 6 minutes, the entire building was engulfed.
Yeah, it looks crazy looking at that fire.
By the time emergency services arrived, only 100.
Fuck! Why'd you do that, you dick?
100 people had died, and over 230 were injured. Following the investigation, Daniel Michel, along with the club owners Jeffrey and Michael Derdurian, were convicted. Each was sentenced to 15 years in prison with 4 years to serve, 11 years suspended, and 3 years of probation. The cases so far were disturbing, but in the next levels, things cross all limits. So subscribe, and let's keep going.
For the longest time, this guy, bro, this guy I watched, the CTV, the longest time I thought this motherfucker was AI, and, like, recently he started actually showing his face in videos. I'm like, oh, he's actually not an AI voice, that's crazy.
Voice so common and basic, you thought it was AI, it's crazy.
Escalated into one of the most mysterious cases in Indiana history.
I was making so much money with DoorDash. I wanted to earn money in my free time,
wait,
but I didn't want to
is this the one that I'm thinking of? Because if it is, it might be the one.
Discovered that 4 employees, Daniel Davis, Jane Freed, Mark
Clemens,
and Ruth Shelton, had left before midnight and never returned. Initially, officers assumed the youths had gone out for the night and didn't take the game seriously. The next morning, James' car was found. Within 2 days,
How can he not be charged when he can give direct details to how the murders took in place and where the bodies are buried? Like, excuse me? I mean, he's already in prison, admittedly, and he did die in prison, but still. Those should be fucking charged for that shit. There's no way you guys can't be like, oh, he didn't do it. What?
Yeah, fucking perform some necromancy and fucking charge him again.
Well, he was alive when he admitted it, is what I'm saying.
No, I get what
Obviously,
you're saying. I'm just making a joke to, you know,
Oh, yeah.
resurrect him just to do it again.
Baker and Richard Lawler had been stabbed to
Remember that? It's like that one meme. He's like, assuming you get resurrected, you will be put back in prison immediately.
Oh yeah, like 32 consecutive life sentences.
Yeah. It's like, what did bro do?
Fucking, if you ever reincarnate, we will find you and throw your ass straight back into prison.
had already left the scene in a limousine. During questioning, Lewis straight up denied being present at the fight. However, detectives recovered a knife from the scene that had been purchased at a sporting goods store where Lewis had recently appeared for an autograph sign.
Like Dick's Sporting Goods or like just a Sporting Goods?
That's what I'm assuming.
11 days later, all three men were indicted on and aggravated assault charges. But the trial quickly became
I mean, I'll sell some riddles, but I don't feel like going to some trophies. Hold on, what was his crime?
Murdering.
Oh, hell no. I hate shit like that. Like they're a superstar or celebrity or some shit of some sort and they fucking get a reduced charge or something because of that.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking irritates my soul. Fucking irritates the understatement. Infuriates my soul.
of harassing him and tampering with the machine service. Things got so bad that he even made death threats. Despite this behavior, he remained employed. However, when management required him to undertake the training, he finally snapped. At 8 a.m. on November 2nd, 1999, Uyusugi entered the building and opened fire. Only 11 people were inside at the time. He fired 28 shots, 25 of which struck one person.
Damn.
One intended victim managed to escape, and Uyusugi deliberately spared another. As officers responded, Uyusugi fled the building in a company van, triggering a manhunt. 2 hours later, the joggers spotted the van and quickly notified police. To prevent any further casualties, officers locked off a wide area of the van. 5 hours later, Uyusugi had refused the training because he believed management was fired. When they didn't, he decided to give them a reason to do so. Brian Uyusugi was convicted of 7 counts and 1 count of attempted. The man was ultimately sentenced to life in prison without parole.
Who said sensitive skin means boring, scentless hair care? I'm a trichologist and say
Shut your bitch ass up.
Native highlight their new sensitive series, and I'm
Illinois, Highland Park Parade. Well, families gathered to celebrate America's Independence Day. One man in the crowd. On July 4th, 2022, during a parade in Highland Park, Illinois, 21-year-old Robert climbed onto a rooftop
Far away, the deflated roof homes,
14
leaving
minutes out,
behind what he couldn't ship home.
opened fire on spectators and participants below. In just a few minutes, Primo fired 83 rounds. 7 men were killed.
Keep saying subject is scared. Subject is telling me
Toward the area, Primo fled. He addressed in women's clothes, disguised himself as dilapidated and the crowd. The rifle he used fell from his bag during the escape and was recovered by authorities within minutes. After leaving Highland Park, Primo drove to Madison, Wisconsin, where another Independence Day celebration was underway. There, he considered carrying out a second attack, but ultimately decided against it. Still on the run, he discarded his cell phone. The driver spotted his damaged vehicle and alerted police. For 13 minutes, the driver followed Primo while relaying his location to 911 operators. 8 hours after the incident, Robert Primo III was arrested without incident. During the investigation, authorities revealed that law enforcement had prior encounters. In September 2019, police were called after allegedly threatening to kill him. As a result, multiple weapons at the time, including knives and swords. However, no charges were filed.
Communism is underrated? Is that what you just said?
Primo applied for a firearm owner's
Excuse me, chat?
His father sponsored the application, legally
Did I
allowed
read that wrong? I hope I did.
including the rifle.
Probably did. Oh, fuck.
Robert Primo III was sentenced to 7 consecutive life sentences.
2,400 years in prison. Did you hear that shit, dude?
Bro's getting ice and like
Dude, 2,400 years in prison is fucking crazy, yo.
Your bloodline's gonna be prison, bro.
Right.
Yo, children,
What?
generations of your family about to be in prison because of you. What the fuck?
That's so damn bad,
She asked a
bro.
man outside to help her check, and what he found was horrific. One worker, Jana Murray, lying dead face down, and another, Brittany Norwood, was semi-conscious with zip ties binding her wrists and ankles and her face covered in blood. When police arrived, Brittany, clearly shaken, told them what happened the night before. She claimed she had forgotten her wallet after closing and called Jana to return and lock the store. As they entered, 2 men dressed in black with ski masks allegedly forced their way inside. According to Brittany, the men attacked them and assaulted them. Sadly, Jana did not survive. Police initially treated her as a victim, but as investigators
Fucking foul.
the story began to unravel. Jana had been attacked with extreme violence. She suffered at least 331 wounds inflicted by multiple weapons.
Jesus.
Brittany's injuries, in contrast, were minor and appeared self-inflicted. The difference was too serious to
No, I don't.
matched a pair of men's size 14 sneakers, but they also matched Brittany's own shoes.
So she was in on that.
Strangely, the track stopped before either exit. Although there was a hole in Jana's underwear suggesting assault, forensic testing found no evidence that either woman had been assaulted. Still, investigators needed more than suspicions. Soon, other evidence, like neighbors' testimony on hearing them argue, also stacked up against Brittany. Moreover, when police searched Jana's car, they found both Jana's and Brittany's blood inside. suicide. Brittany claimed the attacker had ordered her. All things good. Frank. I don't even know who Frank is, but thankfully, my Windows 11 co-pilot. Brittany claimed the attackers had ordered her.
Thankfully, your Windows 11 co-pilot killed himself. Hooray!
Threatening to kill her if she refused.
She made me move her car. I know where her car is.
Ren!
Yeah. They seem to know where it was.
This was a weird one. So they add up.
They said where her keys. I have no idea. One of them punched my head.
This cold corporation changed his life forever, carrying his life in a chronic endeavor.
They said if I was to pass to anyone and open my mouth, I could consider myself dead.
By this point, the inconsistencies were too significant. 1 week after the killing, police arrested Brittany Norwood. Under questioning, she finally confessed. Turns out, Jaina had discovered a pair of unpaid leggings in Brittany's bag and had contacted a manager. So before things escalate, Brittany took matters into her own hands. That night, she called Jaina and claimed she had forgotten something in the store. When Jaina returned, Brittany attacked her. After killing her, Brittany moved Jaina's car and
Over unpaid leggings.
She then cut herself and bound her own wrists and ankles with zip ties to support her theory.
Bruh.
In the end, Brittany Norwood was convicted of first-degree murder and sentenced to life in prison.
Bro, did you hear that one? What the fuck?
Devil's Den Park. In July...
Bro, did you hear that one?
Not quite.
So, basically, there's people who are like friends, this person who go to this lady's shop, I'm assuming it's like a regular, she didn't pay for some of these clothes or some shit like that, some leggings. So what she does is, in a fit of rage, she kills this chick, makes up how this elaborate scheme how two dudes broke in, she ends up somehow hog-tying herself, claiming that she and even the other woman was molested, going as far as even cut holes into her underwear and shit. And it's like, well, you made this whole elaborate scheme up when this shit didn't even happen. I'm like, what? When he first started talking about this, I was like, bro, that's sick as fuck. Like, thinking this, that happened. Come to find out, this crazy bitch is the one who did it. Fucking made all that shit up. Like, what? And she had like self-inflicted wounds too. Dude, she like, there's so many, what's it called? They said there's like 300 different wounds on her victim from like multiple different weapons and shit. Like, bro, how mad were you over not paying over her leggings or something? Like, what? That's fucking ridiculous.
2025.
That's crazy.
Set out at Devil's Den State Park in northwest Arkansas. But only some of them made it back home. While walking along the trail, a man suddenly attacked Clinton. Panicked, Kristen rushed their daughters to safety and immediately came back to help her husband. Mommy and Daddy never came back. The girls were eventually found by another hiker, but by that time, it was too late. Both Clinton and Kristen were dead. When investigators arrived, they found a trail of blood leading toward the scene. However, the suspect had not escaped unnoticed. Witnesses reported seeing a man leaving the area with blood on his face. He had gotten into a black sedan with tape partially covering the license plate. To find him, police began reviewing surveillance footage from the nearby roads and businesses. The vehicle eventually identified along with its driver. Quickly, a sketch of the suspect was released to the public. 4 days after the killings, officers tracked the vehicle to Springdale, Arkansas, where the suspect was arrested at a swamp. He was identified as Andrew McGann, a 28-year-old teacher who had worked in multiple school districts across 3 states.
What?
Authorities ultimately found a match between McGann's DNA and the evidence recovered at the crime scene. In the end, Andrew McGann was charged with 2 counts of capital murder and is currently awaiting trial. Idaho. Student.
911 location of your emergency.
Something is happening. Something's happening in our house. We don't know what.
What is the address of the emergency?
1122.
What is the rest of the address?
Oh, Kings Road.
That was the frantic 911 call made just before noon on November 13th, 2022. No one in Moscow, Idaho could understand what had happened inside that.
If you're a mom, then you know just how
Bruh.
expensive it is to feed a house full of kids. I mean, I
Bruh.
the amount of money.
It'd be always like they're gonna drop like a fucking bomb like that. So like I'm intrigued. Like I want to know what happened now, and then add right then and there, bro. Right when you're about to explain exactly what the context is. Like fuck you.
What had happened inside that three-story house? Three University of Idaho students, Kaylee Goncalves, Madison Mogan, and Zaina Kernodal, lived with two other roommates in a three-story house off campus. That Saturday, Zana's boyfriend Ethan was visiting, and the two of them had gone to a fraternity party. Kaylee and Madison had spent the evening at a downtown sports bar and were out until around midnight. By about 2 a.m., all five roommates and Ethan were back in the house. But when the sun rose the next morning, Kaylee, Madison, Zaina, and Ethan were all found dead inside.
Hell
When
yeah.
police arrived, one of the surviving roommates, Dylan Mortensen, said she was awakened by a However, the moment she heard Zaina crying, followed by a fatal voice saying, "It's okay, I'm going to help you." She opened her door again, and a figure dressed in black walked past her and exited through the sliding door in the kitchen. Since Dylan had been intoxicated, she locked herself in a single pistol. What she saw was a dream. It wasn't until about 4:46 a.m. that Dylan came downstairs and found her lying on the floor. Panicked, she ran into the bedroom to join the other surviving roommates in the bedroom. The two of them locked themselves and contacted their friends, who then called 911. All four victims had been stabbed multiple times. Authorities were under intense pressure to find the perpetrator, but they had very little to work on. There were no signs of forced entry, and no obvious weapon was left at the scene. After reviewing hours of CCTV, investigators finally found something incriminating. A white Hyundai Elantra driving past the victim's home 3 times until about 4:20 a.m. when it sped away from the neighborhood. After finding it, investigators also found a knife sheath containing a single source of male DNA. That vehicle and the DNA evidence eventually led police to Brian Kober, a PhD in criminology at Washington State University.
Well, apparently you weren't smart enough for a kind of criminal, so bitch.
Investigators found a knife, a pistol, and a black face mask. When the DNA test results came back, it matched Koberger's evidence from the crime scene.
Bro, he looks like a motherfucker who murdered someone. Bro, he got like them fucking crazy eyes. This is crazy.
2025, Brian Koberger was sentenced to 4 consecutive life sentences without parole eligibility, plus 10 years for the burglary. Level 5.
Big deal.
Truck attack.
But this counts.
While the city of Florence prepared to host the 2025 one man was planning something very serious. Justin Ahardar was a former military serviceman who had served for 13 years. Although he was accredited, he later converted to Islam. The years before the attack, he was to the extreme. Between 1:29 a.m. and 3:20 a.m. on New Year's Eve, he posted videos on Facebook pledging allegiance to ISIS.
What?
He claimed his actions would highlight what he described
What?
as a war between believers and unbelievers.
Excuse me? That's not what I was expecting to hear.
Not ideology. That night, the big steel barriers designed to block vehicle access to the street were not raised.
Ice is crazy, dog. I'm not gonna lie.
Bypassing a police SUV and temporary barricades meant to Suddenly, he accelerated into pedestrians along a 3-block stretch
What?
before crashing into an aerial lift. Wearing body armor, Marr stepped out of the truck and opened fire on officers and bystanders. Police returned fire. The exchange ended when officers shot him multiple times in the torso, killing him on the scene. At the end of the attack, 14 people had been killed. 57 others were injured, including 2 police officers and 6 wounded in the gunfire. The danger didn't end there. After Jabbar was shot dead by police, investigators discovered several devices in the truck that appeared to be pipe bombs or improvised explosives, showing that his attack could have been even deadlier. Although he pledged allegiance to ISIS online, investigators stated they found no evidence that he was
Really? No, really. Really? Gee, I thought he was part of ISIS for real.
They found no evidence that he received direct instructions from the group. Authorities believe
No way.
ongoing.
I thought he really was part of ISIS for real though.
On the morning of Sunday, September 18th, 1963, an anonymous man called 16th Street Baptist Church in Birmingham saying, before she could really understand what
That's lying, bro.
church's basement.
What the fuck? Did you hear that? Did you hear that shit? Bro calls up the church, says 3 minutes. Church blows up in fucking 3 minutes. Like, what? What the fuck? That's wild.
Were in the basement at the time, changing into choir robes ahead of service. Glass
Hunter's Mark.
shattering stained glass windows and collapsing structure. Cars
What up,
burst nearby,
Wolfgang?
and windows more than 2 blocks away were blown out. As the target 30s arrived, 4 girls were dead, and at least 20 others. At first, investigators believed
I probably shouldn't be here in Hunter's Mark right now.
passing car. 5 days later,
Maybe I should as well.
section of
I don't
wire
know.
and fragments of red plastic. The evidence confirmed that the device had been planted near the church's women's lounge. Within days, investigators focused on a Ku Klux Klan splinter group known as the Cahaba Boys. Witnesses reported seeing a white man leave a car and walk toward the church shortly before the explosion. The church was targeted because it was a center of civil rights activity in Birmingham.
Bruh.
The men were eventually identified as suspects. However, it took 14 years before the
By some racist organization hate group, bro.
Robert Kennedy was prosecuted and convicted of first-degree murder. He died in prison. Decades later, in 2001 and 2002, Thomas Blanton Jr. and Bobby Cherry were each sentenced to life in prison. A fourth suspect, Herman Cash, died in 1994 and was never charged. The bombings became one of the most infamous acts of racial violence during the civil rights movement, and its impact continues to this day. Nebraska, Omaha Mall in December 5th, 2007, 19-year-old Robert Hawkins called Deborah Maruka Kodak, telling her he had put his note in his bedroom. In it, Robert Hawkins was going to be faced. He would be, for all the wrong reasons. Deborah had taken Robert in weeks earlier after his parents asked him to leave on behavioral issues at home. Alarmed by the call, she contacted his mother, who took the note to the police. By then, it was already too late. At 1:36 p.m., CCTV footage captured Robert from an hour department store inside West Roads Mall in Omaha, Nebraska. He walked through briefly, scanned the area, then left. 6 minutes later, this time with a rifle concealed under his sweatshirt. The boy took the elevator to the third floor. The moment the doors opened, Robert opened. where he shot several people to finally turn the gun on himself.
Bro, they always do that.
Later, it was already over. Robert Hawkins had already
Bro, why is every motherfucker who ends up shooting up someplace ends up turning the gun on himself, bro? I swear to God how it fails.
They're a goddamn god.
to his friends and family.
Straight pussy, bro, I'm talking.
A few weeks before the shooting, he had broken up with his longtime girlfriend and was fired from the job at McDonald's.
No, not fired from McDonald's. I gotta shoot up a place now. That's where I draw the line. Getting fired from McDonald's. No, it's the end of the world. Like, really? Oh, it's gonna be the Slender Man stabbing one. I'll never forget about that, hearing about that shit when I was in middle school. I know one of those bitches is free now, and then got arrested again. She was in a psych ward and escaped the psych ward.
In the same apartment building and were fascinated by the fictional horror character Slender Man.
Slender Man. I'm gonna stab my best friend to summon Slender Man. How fucking brain dead do you have to be?
Were fascinated by the fictional horror character
Slender Man.
And why specifically your best friend?
As Morgan and Vanessa's obsession, they became convinced Slender Man would harm them and their families unless they offered a sacrifice.
Yup.
Target their friend Peyton. On May 31st, 2014, during a slumber party,
That girl like got stabbed like 20-something times, crawled her way out. I'm sure he'll say exactly here in a second, but I know it's absurdly fucking ridiculous number.
But once she did, they stabbed her repeatedly. Afterwards, both girls headed toward Nicollet National Forest, believing that was where Slender Man lived. Peyton managed to drag herself to a nearby patch of grass where a cyclist found her and called 911. She was rushed to the hospital, and authorities quickly began searching for Morgan and Anissa. 5 hours after the attack, both were located not far from the scene, still carrying the weapon in a bag. Despite severe injuries, Peyton left the hospital 7 days later and made a full recovery. Morgan Geyser and Anissa Wire were found.
And do you know the exact number? Probably because they were children at the time. They were some young teenagers.
Morgan was sentenced to 40 years, and Anissa received 25 years. Delaware. In 2017, a workday at the James T. Bond Correctional Center in Smyrna, Delaware, turned into one of the deadliest prison uprisings in the state's history. The facility was the largest prison in Delaware.
Oh yeah, Prison Riot, my favorite.
In 2017, older sections like Building C were overcrowded, far beyond their intended capacity. The gang had established
I'll do it.
influence and overworked staff were too exhausted and vulnerable to maintain control. 2 weeks earlier, Lieutenant Stephen Floyd filed a report recommending that certain inmates be moved out of Building C and warned they were planning something. This concern was unheeded. The consequences of that negligence would manifest in the worst way possible. At around 10:30 a.m., as inmates returned from the recreation yard, the group in Building C covered their faces in cloth. This morning, quickly overpowered officers and civilian staff locked down the area and took.
I forgot about that. How you can hunt this march off, you kill the ants, so the little ants will start carrying their corpses.
The inmates beat them with makeshift tools until
I really like that detail.
Officer Floyd was placed in a separate bunk, isolated from the others as chaos consumed the unit. Initial reports from prison officials described only a disturbance, but hours of silence revealed the severity of the situation. At one point, an inmate rolled a blanket, set it on fire, and threw it over the officers. The officers extinguished the flames, but remained trapped in the smoke-filled closets. After 4 hours, the inmates released one hostage to negotiate with the Delaware Department of Corrections officials. They presented a hit list of 17 staff members demanding they be fired or retired. The inmates claimed they were protesting prison conditions like overcrowding, long sentences, and mistreatment by staff. The officials did not meet their demands.
Yeah, you either fire these guys or we kill them.
Throughout the standoff, authorities attempted to keep the inmates calm.
Pick one.
On the water for drinking and bathing. Instead, the inmates used it to fill metal footlockers, barricading hallways and blocking access. By the next day, tactical teams made their move. They entered the building through a backhoe wall and regained control of the facility. Finally, the 24-hour standoff had ended, not without a tragedy. Correctional officer Stephen Floyd, a 16-year veteran, was found dead in prison. In October 2017, 18 inmates were charged in connection with the crisis. 16 of them were first degree. Already incarcerated, they remained in custody while awaiting trial. Sentences handed down, including Dwayne Stats receiving 2 life sentences plus 153 years, Jerome Ayers sentenced to 123 years,
Of course, my dumbass
and Royal
chose straight
Downs
past it.
receiving 3 years. Many of the other inmates are still awaiting trial or appealing their convictions. I will say, in no way do I condone the violence and some of the methods that the prisoners used, but at the same time, when you have prisoners so overcrowded and you're not treating them like humans anymore, that's just wrong. There's...
Yeah, good ad.
and you're not treating them like humans anymore, that's just wrong. There's a lot wrong. Conditions. And so, while I don't think what they did was right, I don't think what the prison did was right either. So, fix something. Oklahoma, Karina Saunders. In October 2011, Karina Saunders was reported missing after she failed to show up for work and stopped answering calls. Authorities began searching immediately, but this was not just a missing persons case. On October 8, 2011, Karina was last seen entering a red pickup truck. A man with tattoo sleeves on both arms was observed exiting the vehicle. 5 days later, animal welfare workers in Bethany, Oklahoma were rounding up feral cats when they noticed a foul smell. Tracing it to a duffel bag behind an apartment, they discovered Karina's body inside. After going around Ipswich, police learned that Karina and another woman had been abducted to an abandoned house where 2 men allegedly beat and restrained her. The witness claimed Karina had been dragged upstairs and further attacked, though she managed to escape by jumping out of a window. The 2 men identified in connection with the case were Jimmy Macy and Louise Ruiz. At the time, Jimmy Macy was already in custody for related charges. A fellow inmate told authorities in connection with the case were Jimmy Macy and Louise Ruiz. At the time, Jimmy Macy was already in custody for related charges.
Oh, drugs.
A fellow inmate told authorities that Macy had admitted to killing Karina and described how the body had been wrapped and disposed of. Ruiz was arrested 8 months later, and both men were charged with first-degree murder. However, the court could not rely on hearsay alone. So by February 2013, charges against Macy and Ruiz were dropped due to insufficient evidence. Authorities believe Karina's death may have been connected to a human trafficking or drug gang. Despite a $10,000 reward for information, investigators have yet to identify the man with the tattoo sleeve or uncover the full circumstances behind Karina Saunders' death. Pennsylvania, Tree of Life. For the 3 congregations of the Tree of Life Synagogue in Pittsburgh, the Sabbath morning was meant for worship, until one man decided they all needed to die. Just before 10 a.m., 46-year-old Robert Bowers posted a final message on Gab, accusing the Jews of killing his people.
Bruh.
5 minutes later, Bowers opened fire through a window of the synagogue.
Sorry, bro. You hear that bullshit, bro?
No.
You didn't?
Bowers decided they all
I'm rewinding that
needed to
shit.
die. Just before 10 a.m., 46-year-old Robert Bowers posted a final message on Gab, accusing the Jews of killing his people. 5 minutes later,
Like,
Bowers
bro,
opened
what?
fire through a window of the synagogue. Typically, about 75 people would attend a Saturday service, but only 22 were present that morning. Bowers entered through the broken window and shot his first 2 victims. Over the next 20 minutes, he moved through the building, targeting congregants and hiding spots. At one point, he entered the chapel and shot Sylvan Simon next to his wife, Bernice. Minutes later, he returned to the chapel as Bernice held her deceased husband and dialed 911. He shot her as well. By then, police had surrounded the building, but Bowers continued firing. Officers were injured during exchanges of gunfire. About 30 minutes after the attack began, tactical teams ultimately breached the synagogue, engaging Bowers before hitting him multiple times.
I've reached deep, dog.
He crawled out and surrendered. But 11 people were dead, and 7 others were injured. Investigators later found that Bowers had long promoted conspiracy theories claiming Jewish people were collaborating with Muslims to take
What
over
has
the
an angle
United
with
States.
just one line?
The
A
FBI
fishing
raided home
rod.
for evidence, but he was one step ahead. Before the shooting, Bowers had preemptively set his computer to wipe 6 hard drives after a 200-minute countdown. By the time authorities arrived, all data was irretrievably lost. Robert Bowers was charged with 29 federal crimes and was ultimately sentenced to death by lethal injection. Florida, Parkland School Incident. On February 14, 2018, Nicholas Cruz arrived at his former high school in Parkland, Florida, carrying a backpack toward Building 12, where around 900 students sat unaware of his true intentions. Cruz took out a rifle from his bag and began assembling it at the ground floor of the 3-story Building 12. A student spotted him and ran to alert staff, but it was too late. Cruz had already begun open firing. 4 students.
I wish you had your own assistant.
Let me guess, he kills himself. He's a fucking pussy.
To show you how Copilot Voice and Copilot Vision help me stay on top of
Open firing. 4 students in the first floor hallway. He even fired through the windows of classroom doors, pushing 6 more students and wounding 13.
So foul.
Next to the upper floor
I'm gonna go. She just crashed again, and I've been up since yesterday, so.
Alright, killer. You have a good one, man.
You too.
After leaving the school, he stopped at a fast food restaurant and a nearby mall before continuing on foot. About an hour later, police arrested Cruz roughly 2 miles from the school. The entire attack lasted just 6 minutes. But in that time, 17 people were killed and 17 others were injured. Investigators later discovered that Cruz had been on law enforcement's radar for years. Less than a month before the shooting, the FBI received a specific warning from someone close to Cruz detailing his erratic behavior, gun ownership, and the possibility of a school attack. Cruz's social media accounts also revealed photos of him with firearms, including pistols, shotguns, and long knives. Despite these warnings, no action prevented the tragedy. On November 2nd, 2022, Nicholas Cruz was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. Level 6. New Mexico, the phone collector. On February 2nd, 2009, a woman walking her dog made a shocking discovery on Albuquerque's West Mesa. A human being. She immediately called the police, setting off an investigation that would raise more questions than answers. At first, authorities did not realize the full scale of what they had uncovered. As they carefully excavated the area, it became clear
Beat
that
chapter 4. Good shit, my guy.
Buried in shallow graves were the bodies of 11 women, all of whom had disappeared between 2003 and 2005. The clustering was no accident. This was the work of a serial killer, later known by the media as the West Mesa Bone Collector. Most victims were vulnerable women, some struggling with addiction or involved in sex work. Despite their differences, they were connected by their final resting place. Authorities launched one of the largest missing person and homicide investigations in the region's history. Detectives meticulously reviewed case files, interviewed friends and family, compared DNA, and followed every lead. Several individuals drew suspicion over the years. One early person of interest was Fred Reynolds of Camp Blue, knew one of the missing women, but had died shortly before the discovery. Another suspect was Lorenzo Montoya, who had once threatened to kill and bury his girlfriend, but he too had died in 2006 after being shot in self-defense. Interestingly, the West Mesa killings appeared to stop after his death. A third suspect was Joseph Bly, currently serving a 90-year prison sentence for murder. He allegedly told a cellmate that he had hired the West Mesa victims and dismissed them as trashy. Despite these leads and suspicions, no forensic evidence has ever definitively linked anyone to the crimes. To this day, the West Mesa Bone Collector remains unidentified. The case continues to haunt Albuquerque. Michigan, Shelley Brooks. In August 2001, the body of 53-year-old Sandra Davis was discovered inside a vacant house in Detroit, Michigan. She had been hit in the head and left to die. At first, authorities believed it was an isolated crime, but it was only the beginning. Between 2001 and 2006, 6 more women were found dead in similar circumstances. All were black women engaged in prostitution, many with histories of substance abuse. Each had been violated and killed by blunt force trauma to the head. Their bodies were discovered in vacant buildings, clothes draped over them, their legs left exposed in the same position. For 5 years, the case remained unsolved. Then, in June 2006, the pattern broke. A 45-year-old woman was attacked and left for dead in the same manner as the others, but she miraculously survived. She gave police a detailed description of her attacker, identifying him as a tall man known by the nickname E. Investigators traced the name to Shelley Andre Brooks, a 37-year-old man who had spent years drifting between the streets of Detroit and his cousin's basement. Once identified, authorities began reviewing the earlier murders. Forensic testing linked Brooks to 4 of the deaths, while the similarities in method and body placement connected him to the others. Prosecutors charged him with all 7 killings. During the investigation, authorities learned that Brooks had been abandoned by his mother at a young age and reportedly carried deep resentment toward her. Some speculated that his attacks were a twisted form of revenge, as if he were reliving that abandonment through violence against other women. In testimony, Brooks stated that some of the women had demanded their money back, which triggered his rage and led to their killings. In 2007, Shelley Brooks was convicted of 7 counts of premeditated murder. 7 counts.
Sensitive doesn't have to be sentenced. Native sensitive series, so you can set your hair and senses free.
Of 7 counts of premeditated murder, 7 counts of felony murder, and 1 count of assault with intent to commit murder. He was sentenced to 2 life imprisonments without the possibility of parole. New York, supermarket On May 14th, 2022, 18-year-old Peyton Gengren drove to a Tops-friendly market store in Buffalo, New York. But unlike everyone else that afternoon, he did not go there to shop. Years earlier, while still in high school, Gengren had made a threat about committing a mass shooting. Authorities investigated and referred him for a mental health evaluation, but after that incident, he became increasingly absorbed in online extremist spaces. He read manifestos from past attackers, consumed white supremacist ideology, and began expressing admiration for mass shooters. By February 2022, He had chosen his target, Buffalo's East Side, a predominantly black neighborhood. For months, he visited the store to study it, mapping entrances and exits, observing security measures, and keeping
Shit, I believe that's Lace, isn't it?
At around 2:30 p.m. on May 14th, Gendron arrived wearing body armor and a military-style helmet. He carried a rifle and had mounted a camera to live stream the attack on Twitch.
Oh, wow.
He immediately opened fire, shooting 4 people in the parking lot. Then he entered the supermarket and continued shooting. By the time Buffalo police began receiving calls, multiple victims had already been struck. Inside, choppers and arrived. Some hid in a break room and barricaded doors and heavy desks. Others crouched behind a milk cooler. An armed security guard fired at him, but overtook Gendron's body armor and did not stop him. Gendron returned fire and instantly killed the guard. Total, the attack lasted just over 6 minutes. When patrol officers arrived, they encountered Gendron at the front of the building. He placed his rifle under his neck, but officers persuaded him to drop the weapon. Gendron was immediately arrested. By then, 13 people were shot, 11 of them black, and 7 of them died.
What the fuck? Hey, what?
Authorities responded to the home they questioned. They described a man wearing jeans and a baseball cap. The description immediately triggered Vance's memory that it was the man who had visited days earlier. He provided the police with Anderson's name, address, and description. Officers quickly located Anderson and brought him into question. First, he denied any involvement, claiming he'd only stopped by to ask about the rival game. But as detectives pressed him about witness statements, Anderson's story began to shift. At the end of the interview, the contradictions were too obvious to ignore. Robert Anderson was arrested. During a search of his property, officers found blood-stained jeans, duct tape, a dirt-covered shovel, and a pocket knife. Investigators also found human hair on the floor. DNA testing confirmed they belonged to Piper's Trail. Her children later identified Anderson as the man who entered their home. On July 18, 1997, Robert Anderson was sentenced to life in prison. Despite the conviction, Piper's Trail's body was never recovered. Still, the case did not end there. 2 years before Piper's abduction, 29-year-old Larissa Domansky vanished after finishing a night shift at a meatpacking plant. Extensive searches turned up nothing. After Anderson's conviction in Piper's case, Larissa's husband revealed that Anderson had also worked night shifts at the same plant. Investigators began to question whether he was connected to Larissa's disappearance. The answer came from an unexpected source. While detectives continued working the case, Anderson was making plans from inside prison. He confided in his cellmate, Jeremy Brunner, and during their conversations, Anderson bragged about abducting and killing both Larissa and Piper. He claimed he had kidnapped Larissa Domansky at gunpoint with the help of a friend named...
That's right.
Bro. Walker panicked and left, forcing him to carry out the initial process alone or calling Walker back to help bury the body. In Piper's case, he said he handcuffed her to the back of his vehicle, killed her, Vitamin booster for disposed of her in the Big Sioux River. Anderson did not confess he asked him to assist in framing someone else for the fall and to arrange the killing of Glenn Walker. Anderson provided a diagram of his mother's house and pointed out where the victim's personal belongings could be found. Walker in a massive home.
Bro, what the fuck? Century 16 Theater in Aurora, Colorado. He sat in the front row, but unlike other moviegoers, he hadn't come to watch the film. About 2 minutes into the movie, Holmes exited through an emergency door that led to a nearby parking area where he had packed his car. When he returned, he was dressed in black, wearing a gas mask, and a headphone to block out screams of the horror he was about to unleash. At first, the audience thought his outfit was part of a costume or a publicity stunt. They were wrong. Holmes threw a smoke canister to the left side of the theater, blinding people, and then opened fire on the audience. Panic erupted as people tried to escape. By the time responding to the 911 calls, Holmes was found standing near his car outside and was arrested. By then, 12 people were dead and 70 others were injured. After his arrest, Holmes told police that he had to retract the market. Police evacuated 5 surrounding buildings. Inside, they found over 30 homemade grenades, wired to a control box in the kitchen, along with 110 gas. Holmes was found guilty on all counts, sentenced to life without the possibility. On June 13th,
1983, a truck driver found a terrified young woman named Cindy Paulson still wearing handcuffs on one wrist. He drove her to a motel where he contacted authorities and gave a chilling account of what had happened. Cindy said a man had offered her $200 for handcuffing her and forcing her at gunpoint into his car. He drove her to his home, violated and tortured her, then prepared to fly her into the wilderness. She managed to escape while he was loading his bush plane with supplies. Cindy didn't just tell her story. She remembered the make, color, and tail number of the plane. Investigators traced it to a baker and family man, Robert Hansen. When questioned, he denied everything, and two friends provided him with an alibi. With no immediate physical evidence, charges were not filed. Barely a month later, another woman was found dead under circumstances eerily similar to Cindy's. Several other women whose bodies have been discovered. This time, Alaska investigators brought in police obtained a search warrant for his home, and inside they found weapons, identification cards, map marked small Texas. Hansen continued to deny involvement until ballistic testing matched shell casings found near the victims to a weapon in his possession. Facing overwhelming proof, Hansen agreed to confess in exchange for serving his sentence in a federal prison with limited publicity. He led investigators to burial sites marked on his map, revealing 17 Robert Hansen was sentenced to 461 years in prison. He died behind bars in 2014, at the age of 75. Kansas, John Robinson. To his Kansas neighbors, John Robinson was a community activist, a church leader, and a devoted husband and father. To law enforcement, he was a seasoned con artist. His first run-in with the law came after he embezzled $33,000 from his place. Again, at another job. Over time, from financial fraud to creating fake companies, he would hire women with promises only for them to vanish without a trace. On September 1984, he picked up Paula Godfrey from her home in Kansas. She told her family she was traveling to San Antonio for a training opportunity in Robinson Lane. After that day, she was never seen again. When police questioned Robinson denied who she was. Days later, Paula's parents received a typed letter with her signature. Paula did not want contact with her family. Since she was an adult, the investigation was terminated. Paula has never been found. As the years passed, Robinson continued recruiting women under the guise of the internet empire demanded his reason to online chat what he described as consensual relationships. The women who met him disappeared. Eventually, Robinson became careless. His name kept surfacing in missing persons reports. 2000, after a woman filed a battery complaint against him, investigators as probable cause to obtain search warrants. Inside storage units and on his property, they discovered the bodies of multiple women sealed in chemical barrels. The evidence was in 2003, Robinson received the death penalty in Kansas for 3 killings, life now 82 and remains on death row. Virginia Tech Massacre. On April 16, 2007, 23-year-old Sung-Hui Cho entered a student dormitory at Virginia Tech and shot 2 people, killing them. Believing it to be a domestic homicide, the university did not immediately notify the campus, but Cho was just getting started. Cho, a senior student with a history of mental illness, had received consultations from the university's counseling center. In 2005, counselors described him as troubled, but said he expressed no homicidal thoughts. They were wrong. While police responded to the dormitory shooting, Cho mailed a package to NBC News in New York. The package contained a photographs of holding weapons and a DVD with videos being recorded. 45 minutes later, Cho returned to campus for his second attack, far deadlier than the first. He chained the 3 main entrance doors of the classroom building and left a note warning that opening the door would trigger a bomb. At the time, a faculty member discovered the note and notified the administration. Joe had begun shooting. He entered the classroom, killing the professor and 9 students. He then moved down the hall, shooting into other classrooms and killing 20 more people. 10 minutes later, a SWAT team began making its way into the building. Joe heard their footsteps as they approached. Just before officers reached them, he turned the gun on his In 2016, Kayla Brown and her boyfriend Charles Barber took a job to do some work on a 100-acre property in South Carolina. But the job was not what it seemed. When they discovered the couple left their dog without food or water,
How is that something you accidentally do? Like, how do you not know and then know? Like, what?
had left their dog without food or water. Charles were reported missing. For 2 months, authorities searched as if they had vanished from the Then, in October, Charles posted on Facebook announcing that he and Kayla were now married. While Kayla's account remained silent, Charles began responding to messages assuring people that he and his partner were safe. However, the posts were so out of character for Charles that they suspected his account had been hacked. That phone activity would become the answer to the couple's disappearance. Investigators traced the couple's phone signal to a large secluded property owned by real estate agent Todd Coleham. Initially, their search yielded nothing but noises coming from a large metal container. No one was ready for what they were about to see. Chained and unable to move properly. She had been held captive for 2 months and repeatedly violated. When officers asked about Charles, she revealed that Todd had killed him the same day he abducted them. But it didn't end there. Kayla told officers that Colehep had buried other victims in shallow graves around the property. He had taken her to the graves to intimidate her into not escaping. Upon searching, officers found the bodies of Johnny and Megan Croxey, a couple who had gone missing in 2015 after being hired to work on Colehep's property. Todd Colehep was immediately arrested, but there was more. In exchange for talking to his mother, Todd admitted to killing several others dating back to 2003, including the murder of 4 people at a motorcycle shop in Chesney. Authorities were able to identify 9 victims, including Kayla, but Todd insisted there were more unknown victims. On May 22, 2017, Todd Colehep was sentenced to 7 consecutive life sentences without the possibility of parole. North Dakota, Savannah LaFontaine Graywind. Savannah LaFontaine Graywind was 9 months pregnant. She placed a pizza order to her family's apartment in Fargo, North Dakota, August 19th, 2017. Before the delivery arrived, she went upstairs to help her neighbor with the second vanished before the pizza arrived. Her family reported her missing almost immediately. Suddenly appeared with a newborn baby, claiming she had given birth at home. Those around her were confused because no one had seen signs of a pregnancy. 8 days later, Savannah's body was found wrapped in a gay-covered near the baby had been forcibly. This discovery prompted officers to search the apartment Cruz shared with her boyfriend, William Holmes. Inside,
What the fuck?
Cruz claimed Savannah had asked for help and later returned to hand over the baby. Owen said he came home to find Cruz cleaning blood from the bathroom, and she told him, "This is our family." DNA testing eventually confirmed the baby was Savannah's child.
What the fuck is wrong with people, bro?
Cruz was sentenced to life in prison without parole, while William Hohen received a 20-year prison sentence for his role in kidnapping. Texas, the Andrea Yates case. On June 20th, 2001, Andrea Yates repeatedly called her husband, asking him to return home immediately. She didn't say why, but he rushed there, worried for his children's lives, regretting ignoring the pattern. Andrea had suffered from depression since her teenage years, but for a time, she appeared to overcome it and move forward with life. After marrying Russell, the couple announced their desire to have children.
Weird flex, but okay. There she is. Lace.
Cautioning that another pregnancy could trigger severe psychotic depression. Despite this, Andrea became pregnant with a 5th child. Following the birth, her condition worsened. Another psychiatrist instructed Russell never leave her alone with the children. Believing he was encouraging her independence, Russell left her unattended for brief periods. On that tragic day, Russell had left the house for an hour, expecting his mother to arrive shortly after.
That's crazy.
It was in that short window that Andrea did the unthinkable.
Of course, she fucking did.
911 asking for help but refusing to explain why. Russell and officers arrived. They found that Andrea had killed all 5 of her children in battle. She calmly confessed and was charged with capital murder. During her trial, the jury rejected the insanity defense and sentenced Andrea Yates to life imprisonment with possibility of parole after 40 years. 3 years later, the conviction was overturned due to improper witness testimony during the original trial. In 2006, Andrea was not guilty by
Not the parry. Hell yeah, got work. Good try. First try.
Joshua's behavior became more vicious. He liquidated his wife's retirement accounts and withdrew his children from daycare. A month after Stephen's disappearance, Joshua moved to his father Steve, his brother Michael, and sister and investigators discovered a shocking detail. Joshua's father Steve had been obsessed with the search of Stephen's computer turned up over 4,500 images of Susan taken without her knowledge.
Jesus fuck.
2nd, 2011,
So creepy.
Stephen was arrested after police found explicit videos of the court granted Susan's father set the house on fire. He killed himself.
Jesus Christ.
Authorities later determined that he had deliberately set the fire because he had donated the boys' toys and charities. Police believe Joshua was involved in Susan's disappearance and that his brother may have helped him conceal her body. No one has ever been named a suspect or charged in Susan's disappearance. Ariel Castro. Between 2002 and 2004, Ariel Castro, a former supervisor, Cleveland, Ohio, young nights Amanda Perry and her daughter's friend, Regina De Jesus. While authorities and families combed through every corner, the women were Castro fed them once a week and allowed showers in his wife's out of the Castro impregnated her multiple times but induced miscarriages by feeding her.
Jesus fucking Christ. What the fuck?
Families kept searching. Even when a self-proclaimed psychic told Amanda's mother she was dead, she continued searching for the child until her Mary gave birth to a daughter fathered by Castro. May 6, 2013, Ariel Castro made a critical mistake. He left the interior door unlocked. Although the exterior door was open, Amanda noticed she could see neighbors through the screen. She screamed for help and finally, after 10 years, someone came to her rescue. Amanda crawled out with her daughter and dialed 911. This led to the rescue of Michelle Knight and Gina De Jesus, ending over a decade of torture. In 2013, Ariel Castro pleaded was sentenced to life imprisonment plus 1,000 years without the possibility.
I believe it.
What happens when tragedy strikes the place meant for laughter? Find out the most disturbing water park accident iceberg now. For cases from this iceberg that were too intense for YouTube, click the link in the description for access to our free Patreon. do you use social media between the ages of 8 and 18? There's actually a social media lawsuit to qualify for 25 years old have received so disturbing that even seasoned officers freeze. What do you got there? What do you got there? Oh, routine trying to stop the spiral.
Tamiyan.
Wishka. Kika.
Optimera.
Hasbin?
Keka?
Yanara. Benny Frank.
Senta so.
Cadestre.
Mia Samasa.
Hironare.
Los Kakor.